Hello, my name is Meerah and I'm a Lorekeeper in one of Yogg-Sothoth's libraries, and today I wanted to tell you guys the story of Nyarlathotep from the Yogg-Sothoth or the Lovecraft Mythos. He was created by H.P. Lovecraft and first appeared in the poem bearing his own name in 1920. Lovecraft wrote the poem based on a dream he had. And it is believed by many, and I think I fall in this camp too, that Nikola Tesla could have been one of the figures that heavily inspired the creation of the character, while others speculate that each of the deities from the mythos represent a different kind of primal fear. For example, Cthulhu represents Lovecraft's fear of the deep sea and the unknown. Some believe that Nyarlathotep could likewise symbolize Lovecraft's fear of modernity, or perhaps his prejudice and racism towards people of color. It is no secret that Lovecraft was incredibly racist, and some of his descriptions of Nyarlathotep are a product of their time, we shall say. So I will not be repeating those. And it was then that Nyarlathotep came out of Egypt. Who he was, none could tell, but he was of the old native blood and looked like a pharaoh. The fellaheen knelt when they saw him, yet none could say why. He said he had risen up out of the blackness of 27 centuries, and that he had heard messages from places not on this planet. Into the lands of civilization came Nyarlathotep, swarthy, slender, and sinister, always buying strange instruments of glass and metal, and combining them into instruments yet stranger. He spoke much of the sciences, of electricity and psychology, and gave exhibitions of power which sent his spectators away speechless, yet which swelled his fame to exceeding magnitude. Men advised one another to see Nyarlathotep, and shuddered, and where Nyarlathotep went, rest vanished, for the small hours were rent with the screams of a nightmare. Nyarlathotep is an outer god, one of the most significant perhaps in the entire pantheon. He is known for having 999 avatars, and as such, he has just as many aliases. Some of the more well-known ones include the Crawling Chaos, the Face Eater, the Bloody Tongue, the God of 1,000 Forms, the God of the Desert, the Faceless God, the Father of all Bats, the Moon Presence, the Haunter of the Dark, the Stalker among the Stars, and the Masked Messenger. I'm not sure at what point this particular alias was given to him, but Mr. Tiddles has got to be my favorite alias for Nyarlathotep. It just suits him. I don't know, I can't explain why. As he is a frequent visitor to various planets throughout the cosmos, it is likely that he has more forms and names than we could possibly ever count. His parent is Azuyani. He has siblings with the Nameless Mist and the Darkness. His nephew is Yogg-Sothoth. His mate is Yonde, who is a creation of Clark Ashton Smith in 1934, and his children are the million-favored ones, Uganot and Lilith. Unlike many of his relatives, he is not exiled to the stars, and spends the majority of his time here on Earth, among humans. Also, unlike his relatives, he prefers to use human languages instead of alien languages, and most often takes the human form. He desires not death and destruction like his kin, but instead chaos and disorder. He is deliberately manipulative and deceptive, and takes pleasure in futzing around with the affairs of humanity by the use of propaganda. Nyarlathotep, when not causing mayhem, serves the many cults of the other outer gods and takes care of their affairs in their absence. He is the messenger of the outer gods and enacts their will. He is also a loyal servant of his father, Azuyani, and fulfills every fitful spastic wish that he may have. While Yogg-Sothoth's sphere may seem to be that of knowledge and wisdom, it would appear that Nyarlathotep's sphere would in turn be that of science and magic. Nyarlathotep was a kind of itinerant showman or lecturer who held forth in public halls and aroused widespread fear and discussion with his exhibitions. These exhibitions consisted of two parts. First, a horrible, possibly prophetic cinema reel, and later some extraordinary experiments with scientific and electrical apparatus. And that's it for how important Nyarlathotep is and how often he is mentioned in the mythos. Just like with every other deity, there's actually very little we know about him for sure. So, sorry this is so short. I hope you found it entertaining or interesting in some way. If you did, please consider leaving a like or a comment. If you would like to be notified the next time I post a lore video, you can click that subscribe button and ring the bell. Thank you, as always, to my supporters. If you would like to support the channel, links are in the description below. I hope to see you next time here in the library.